I turned an original character into a virtual pet entirely on Figma with no code or extensions, and here's how. In this project, we had to make a pet similar to a Tamagotchi that you can feed, play with, and monitor health for and take care of. I created a 3D animated robot named Castronaut. The robot and console was fully built and animated on Cinema 4D, with the interactions and games fully implemented on Figma with no extensions. First, I started with sketches and ideation. I might have been inspired to make a little robot by a certain little guy on Netflix. And then, after I created my character, I began plotting the color scheme, theme, buttons, and icons on Illustrator. I wanted to create a kid-friendly theme around my robot that would appeal to younger audiences. I also wanted to build a monitor for his battery health that resembled the robot in itself. Next, I built a bust of the character and planned how things would connect. I modeled the sides in a sketch in Procreate. Then I took my bust of Castronaut and placed it into Cinema 4D. It took a while to get the head right with Cinema. Once I got the model, I began animating Castronaut states. To make sure there are smooth transitions in Figma, I made sure the first and last frames matched up for each transition. So, I started with making a looping idle state with various moods to use as variants. I added a cheering action, a feeding action, sleep, and walking animations. These took a full 4 weeks to create alongside with wiring within Figma in between renders. While it was a lot of frame-by-frame rendering and work, I had so much fun and the end result was so worth it. And now for wireframing. In creating the interface, my goal began with a tree of actions, the introduction, the idle interface, and 4 options for interactions. A play action, a feeding action, a cleaning action, and a recharge action. However, I wanted to implement a second aspect of a more hands-on minigame, so to budget my time towards the deadline, I switched the cleaning action to a repeat of the instructions, and added multiple choices into the play action instead. I created the intro, then the idle states. Then, I weaved the frames with button and screen animations to make a smooth option menu. On the screen, I wanted several functions in action. I needed a null asset that consistently pinged back and forth between a variant in a loop. This basically means it would bounce on and off like a light switch and check the conditions on Figma each time that switch is flipped. This is to constantly monitor the 2 decreasing number variables, which represented Castronaut's happiness and battery. This allowed the state of both Castronaut and his monitors to match his health variables. I also needed to create a state of Castronaut shutting off to recharge when the battery hit 0. This meant creating a conditional sequence of animations that reset the variable at the time it plays. Once I had everything put together, I was able to add the fun additions to my interface. Thanks to the help of my professor, thank you Mike, I was able to create a little mini arcade game where you blast meteors with Castronaut. I also added options for walking and a potential addition for a variable that allows you to find stories and journals as you play. Finally, the tests. I spent a lot of time replaying, retouching, and debugging. And after 4 consecutive weeks, I finally ended with a product that I was really proud of. I hope you all enjoy my Figma project as much as I enjoyed creating it.